Hello, welcome back to Fallout 76. Now, this video is not about a guide, nor is it about how to play or how to enjoy the game or anything like that, right? It's not about the game itself. It's about something that I've been thinking about for a little while now. It's about the season system. And this is one of the reasons that, despite being rank 150, I find it difficult to actually care too much about doing the dailies and the weeklies anymore. And I think it's time that we actually talked about it, because I think there are some issues with it that really need to be discussed. And of course, I'm not speaking for anybody other than myself, right? These are merely my own personal thoughts. I haven't gone out and carried out some kind of survey to amalgamate people's opinions. I haven't even gone out and checked out a whole bunch of posts on Discord or Reddit or anywhere else. This is basically my own opinion, so with that caveat, I think we need to talk about the season system. So specifically about how things have changed between the old scoreboard and the new season system, right? Now, for those of you who never experienced the old scoreboard system, it was basically roughly similar to the current season system up to rank 100. So you had a whole bunch of items, but you didn't have pages. Each item would simply have its rank within the scoreboard. And as you started to rank up, it would just get unlocked, right? There were no tickets or anything like that, it was just a rank, and each rank gave an item. So that's not too dissimilar to what we have now, especially in the types of items that we have. So you had like power armor skins, you had specific items, decorative items, you had scouts banners, yeah, etc, etc. The big difference is that some items were locked behind Fallout first. So specifically things like the score boosts were actually tied to Fallout first. So that is actually a positive change from the old scoreboard to the new season system. The fact that things are no longer locked behind the Fallout first subscription, that is something that I actually consider to be a positive change, because it's no longer about who's got more money, right? But aside from that small positive, generally speaking, the season system has kind of become more grindy. So up to the last page, rank 100 or so, I think this page would be the equivalent of rank 99. So up to rank 99, it's roughly the same. And as I calculated before, it's actually been carefully designed so that you get as many tickets as you need in order to grab everything from each page. So in practice, it was basically the same as the old rank system. Essentially, you can just grab everything as you go, right? You do get the choice of skipping some items that you might not care about. So theoretically, there are some positives about the new season system. But that's only up to rank 100. In the old system, rank 100 would give you a whole bunch of new prizes, right? That was basically meant to be a congratulations, you finished the scoreboard kind of deal. So the stuff that you see in the bonus page 1 would generally have come as part of rank 100, or at least some of the items. There are actually more items in the bonus page 1. But one negative is that across the last couple of seasons, I've noticed that the quality is not great. When you think about the bonus page, which takes you 100 ranks to even unlock it, and on top of that, in order to get everything, you need 50 levels worth of tickets. So the first bonus page has been specifically designed to keep players ranking up to rank 150 in order to get all the items, or at least most of the items, right? They're all very, very expensive. So that's a negative. So in other words, essentially they've increased the grind in order to get some of the prizes that you used to get at rank 100 for free. Or at least without any additional work, right? You simply had to reach 100 to get those prizes. But now you have to reach rank 100 plus 50 further levels in order to unlock every item. And of course you do have the choice of skipping some of those items. Some of these items are not necessarily that great, like for example this. I could get this, but is it really worth 100 tickets? Not really, and that's one of the cheapest items, right? Things like board games. Are they really that useful? And the fuzzy. Okay, maybe if you're a fuzzy collector, but generally speaking, for the number of tickets that you have to pay in order to get these items, I think it's quite obvious that the system is designed to keep people playing through a fear of missing out, right? Oh no, what if I don't get that item? You basically dangle some items in front of you in order to keep you plodding forward. It's kind of like the image of, putting a carrot in front of a donkey or a horse and keep it pulling the cart. The problem is that it's kind of obvious, especially if you've experienced the old scoreboard system, right? But even up to the first bonus page, you could still justify some of the things that are being offered, right? They are unique items. Ultimately, when are you gonna get things like the backpack skin? All of these items are basically unique. They may come back as gold items or they may come back as atom shop items, but generally speaking, the only way to get these items right now is to actually go through the scoreboard. Which is why the last page is a little bit egregious. The last page is quite egregious. So, a big reason I'm making this video is because I have reached 150, and I did this in the last season as well. And I got a whole bunch of those scoreboard boosters, right? The consumables. Technically speaking, that should be 84. So I spent all of the tickets that I got past rank 150, I spent them all on those consumables. And I think I'm probably the reason why they got removed, because I just grabbed so many of them. So, oops. Sorry, don't blame me. I just did the sensible thing, right? But having said that, I really am glad that I did grab them because it looks like they're not going to be offered anymore. There are a few at the lower ranks, but generally speaking, you're not going to be able to accumulate more. So yeah, there are some. Instead, they added 100 atoms for 250 tickets. So because each rank gives you 25 tickets, that's basically 10 atoms per rank, which is a measly figure, right? Just take a brief look at the atom shop. Typically the bundles will go for something like 1500 to 2000, right? 1800 kind of comes to mind. And then you've got individual items that go for several hundred atoms. Same with, constructibles and everything like that. Blah blah, costumes. So generally speaking, anything in the atom store is at least a couple of hundred atoms, right? So if we go back to this, how many ranks would you have to go up to get even a costume? So let's say you're getting a costume for 500 atoms, right? So that's 10 ranks, that's 50 ranks. And given that typically you go up 1 or 2 ranks at most on a daily basis, that's what? 25 days to get a single costume from the atom shop, right? The costumes are one of the cheapest items. And if you wanted to get one of those packages, let's say for 1500 atoms, that would be 150 ranks. So 3 times the cost of a costume, right? At 500 atoms. That's 150 ranks beyond 150 in order to get that. That's literally... I don't even think it's possible. I think that's literally impossible to get in the season. I got up to rank 100 on the scoreboard by using the 10,000 XP to rank up, right? That gets removed at rank 100, so after that you have to rely on daily and weeklies. And in the previous season I hit rank 100 really quickly, so within a week or so I think. And the rest of the time I was pretty much doing all the dailies and weeklies and everything like that. And at the end of the last season, I was only at around rank 200 or something. In other words, even somebody who deliberately tried to rank up like I was doing last season would need 3 seasons in order to get even a single 1500 atom package from the atom store. Ask yourself how long seasons go for and then multiply that by 3. That's how long we're looking, right? Doing all the dailies, all the weeklies, plus grinding West Tech in order to reach rank 100 within the first week of the season, right? And that would still take you 3 seasons to get a single package from the atom store. So by any definition, these atoms are basically just a red herring. They're there to lure you into continually playing. But the problem is that if you think about it for even a little bit of time, it becomes obvious that it's basically just a pointless red herring. And this is one of the reasons why I feel so discouraged about playing beyond rank 150. I can't really see the point of it. Of course, there are items that, other people might want, like modules or perk coins. I've seen a lot of people actually say that they really want those perk coins. Okay, fair enough. But stuff like lunchboxes, script, repair kits, cores, well, cores don't really apply anymore. Nobody should be getting cores just because they're gonna disappear. Well, at least they won't be used in the new legendary crafting system, but that's a discussion for a different day. But essentially, all of this stuff is all optional, kind of convenience items, right? Generally speaking, none of them are items that you have to have, or even give you that much of an advantage. Carry weight boosters are fine, but you can't really get used to relying on them too much. Lunchboxes you get with gold. Legendary modules you get by just scripting daily and whatnot. Perk coins, yeah, perk coins will kind of speed up the process of getting those legendary perks ranked up, but after you reach a certain level, they're not that important. Scout banners, I've never found a particular use for it. Repair kits, you may as well, they're not very useful, especially because they're basic. You may as well just do boss battles repeatedly to get improved repair kits. So generally speaking, there's nothing that's particularly that important, right? That's not to say that these items are not useful, they are, but are they really worth, like, say 3 ranks? Is it really worth that much work? I've got everything that I could care about in the previous ranks. There's a couple of things that I haven't got, but generally speaking, like for example here, I don't really care about this. But generally speaking, anything that's useful or I care about, I have got. And that's pretty much everything. So aside from photo frames and icons and some consumables, I've unlocked every single item, right? Including in the bonus page, right? Including in the bonus page. But I really see no reason to go beyond rank 150. It's... The items, if they were increased, maybe they might encourage people to actually grind a little bit further and then use those items in the item store, right? Towards the end of the last season, I actually created a suggestion ticket to Bethesda talking about some of the changes in the season system. And one of the points that I made was that at some point, increasing the grind actually makes people stop caring about the prizes that are being offered. So if you make the grind harsh enough, then eventually people come to the point where they say, this is not worth my time, and the grind will actually end up discouraging people from playing, which is exactly the opposite of what the new changes were meant to accomplish, right? So essentially, extending the season from rank 100, like it used to be back during the scoreboard days, to rank 150 to get all the items from the first bonus page, that was meant to increase player engagement, right? That's the terminology that they use. But that was meant to increase player engagement. In other words, how long an individual player spends playing the game. It's meant to increase that, right? And I guess one of the reasons they did that is because some people just got to rank 100 and then stopped playing the game. So they wanted to extend how long people were playing, right? By offering more prizes. But because they made it so expensive, there's a lot of people who actually don't feel like going beyond rank 100 at all. And even the ones who do get past that may well find, like I think I'm starting to experience, that anything beyond rank 150 is not worth your trouble at all. In the old scoreboard system, you still got some small rewards of a similar nature that you might see in the second bonus page. Every time you ranked up beyond rank 100, right, you got a small reward. But the thing about those is that it didn't feel like you were being forced to rank up in order to get those items. And technically speaking, none of the items in the second bonus page have to be got, right? You don't have to do any of this stuff. But with the old scoreboard system, it felt more like a bonus. Whereas this kind of feels more like it's being dangled in front of you. So it's a little bit more overt, right? And if we're being fair, I think it's worth pointing out that the systems are not too dissimilar. It's just that the second page is kind of dangled in front of you. But the thing is, once you start to see the prizes and you start to work out the costs and do a bit of analysis and everything like that, you actually end up being discouraged. So instead of people looking forward to getting these items, people just look at the cost and just say, I can't be bothered. And like I said before, I'm just finding myself not caring about rank 150. Why should I bother? None of these items actually means that much to me at all, right? Lunchboxes are fine, but I don't care about experience. The atoms hypothetically could be useful, but at 100 atoms for 10 ranks, that's a bit ridiculous, right? Like I said before, this is not worth your time. Which is a pretty sad conclusion to come to if you think about it. If I was designing this, one of the things that I would be aiming for is to actually give people enough atoms that they can actually start to get items from the item shop, and then you get into this virtuous cycle where people are starting to get those items from the item shop and everybody's wearing some, right? And then people who might be joining the game or coming back to the game, they might see those people wearing those items, they get curious about it, and then they go and acquire those items, either by subscribing to Fallout first or by actually paying cash in order to purchase items. You want that kind of virtuous cycle where people are actually looking forward to what's gonna come out in the item shop, seeing their friends getting it or other players getting them, and then feel like they also want them, right? So this will be a positive use of peer pressure. But at the same time, it's not forced, right? It is peer pressure in the sense that, oh look, I could wear that, I could build this, but at the same time, you're not being forced to do so, right? And that quote-unquote forced to do so part is one of the reasons why games like FIFA and NBA 2K are actually experiencing a bit of a backlash from the players, right? It's got to the point where the grind is actually discouraging players, and they've got to the point where they don't care about the game anymore. And this is one of the concerns I have about Fallout 76. They may have brought a monetization specialist from EA, but the problem is that EA's monetization system is not something you want to copy. Just take a look at what's happening with FIFA. Just look at how the player base is reacting. Following in those footsteps is not the kind of lesson that you want to learn from EA's example, right? Ultimately, Fallout 76 succeeds because it's a fairly casual game, as well as the community that it fosters, right? So when you play Fallout 76, you don't have to worry about being griefed, or at least not often. Trap camps do exist, and some people get annoyed by those. But in my case, the one time that I actually ran into a trap camp, I sat around for quite a bit of time trying to work out how they were doing what they were doing, and how that was killing my character, right? I actually found it interesting. I can understand that if you ran into trap camps on a regular basis, then yeah, that could be annoying. So generally speaking, Fallout 76 has kind of become a bit of a relaxing game for players, right? People don't log in order to play PvP or to harass noobs or anything like that, right? That's just not the kind of game that Fallout 76 is. So bringing over those monetization practices from companies like EA, which kind of do really focus on that player versus player aspect, right? The matchmaking, ultimate team and that kind of thing. That is not what Fallout 76 is. So borrowing lessons from companies like EA or 2K really runs the risk of alienating the user base. And based on some of the feedback that we're seeing about the new season system, I think that Bethesda should be careful about moving away from the casual nature of Fallout 76. But anyway, I started this video just wanting to talk about why I'm not really encouraged to play beyond rank 150. And it may have slightly gone off tangent, but I think there is a lesson to be learned here, right? There's a reason why players may be protesting against the new season system. And like I said before, there are some positives, but at the same time, increasing the grind and in particular, making it obvious and a bit blatant is not a good way to take the system. especially because it goes counter to what Fallout 76 really is right now. It may be the case that Bethesda wants to turn it into something else, right? But I think that would be a bad approach. In any case, if you've listened this far, then thank you very much. And I hope that Bethesda do listen to some of the feedback from players.